Hey, what's up? I'm Tekamaku, Mr. Notary on automation. And there's one thing that you can always expect from me. I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm going to give it to you from a perspective of someone who's not a loan signing agent, right? I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give this information to you in a digestible way so that you can apply this practically in your notary business. And just for the people who've probably never met me or never heard of me or never seen me before, never been in any of our classes or courses. So I am the owner of Golden Stamp Notary, and it's a platform that is designed specifically for notary publics to get appointments. It's not about document preparation. We're not about examining. Thousands of different loan officers are out there, or how to send email to people. It's not that. It's strictly on how to get appointments. And a little bit of more background about me. I am from the Notary Business School, where I study under one and only Andre C. Hatchett, who's a very huge pioneer and someone who I'm very grateful for, and also studied with Notary Cashflow Academy with Tiger Toledo and Cam Combs, who also is the owner of the Apostle Academy. These are the people who I credit to building my success and also allowing me to run into any situation and not even blink, not think twice, and be able to handle it as a notary public business owner. And it's important that I mention this, that the perspective that I'm approaching this is not of a loan signing agent, and it's strictly of a business. And again, if you've never heard of me or never heard my story, I'm going to give you a little bit of background. When I was fired, or they called it terminated, I was adamant about not just not getting another job per se, but not feeling that level of I had no control over how I earn income. It was more of a sentiment of, okay, you can go and get another job. I don't ever want to be fired again, but it was more so I didn't want to be in that position in which I could be controlled by a situation that was really out of my control. Because as we all know, all jobs are temporary. So I came to that acceptance. It really hit me and I accepted it. So I think that's important to know. So my intentions were to not feel that again. You understand what I'm saying? My goal, my aim, my goal line, so to speak, became the emotion, not so much I don't ever want to get another job again. I don't ever want to be fired again, right? It was more so I didn't want to be in a position where that could be controlled. So the only way to do that is to get a business. I learned this from listening to podcasts and reading books, and also meeting very important people online and in person. But I came to the understanding that I have to own a business in order to not ever be fired. You see the connection there? I didn't want to have that experience or feel that emotion ever again. So the way to do that was very straightforward, which is to have a business. So when I got fired, it was my intention not to give myself another job, or more so, give myself a business so that I knew that I could never be fired. And this concept of the Notary Cashflow Academy demonstrates that emotion. So if you look on the left side, this is adapted from the Robert Kiyosaki concept of the cash flow quadrant. And if you've never been exposed to the cash flow quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, then basically it is a expression of how money is earned or how you can generate income. Now, when it comes to the notary cash flow quadrant, I really want to make this clear that this is not better nor is it worse. It's not superior nor is it inferior to another quadrant. It's just different. And it's important that you understand that it's just a difference. And when you understand that it is different, now you could approach it in that way. So again, when I got fired, when I got terminated, I didn't want to feel that emotion again. So therefore, I didn't want to be in a position where that could be controlled. And the only way to do that was to what? Have a business. So when I sought out the Notary Business School, because it's the Notary Business School, it says it in the name, Notary Business School, I knew that this was a business. And when I started it, it delivered that. Now, on the left side, you see a signing agent on the upper left hand, and on the lower left hand, you see a notary public. These are, by definition, jobs. Again, it's important to know that these are not better nor is it worse, superior nor inferior. It's just different. So when you understand that, and when I came to that acceptance, because I didn't want to give myself another job, right? Remember, I didn't want to be in that position. It wasn't an emotional thing. I was very clear on what the goal line was. The goal was to have a business. Very straightforward, not confusing, not at all. And I understood that a signing agent in the notary public a notary signing agent or a loan signing agent, the various names, those are in fact jobs. Notary public is in fact a job. But it's important that you understand this concept. Okay, it's important that when you move forward, it's important that this is something that you recognize and you accept. Only then can you not approach this in a confused manner. So you'll be very clear on what your next steps, what your next actionable steps are. Signing agents, you get the appointment or the order from another source. Notary public, it is the same in which you go out and get the business, but you essentially work for yourself, right? You're self-employed. And then when you look on the right side, this is when you start to approach it in a business aspect and not a job aspect, right? Not better or worse, it's just different. But on the right side, you begin to go into the realm of being a business owner in which you have a system and the system actually does the work. And then the notary entrepreneur is, which is when you make income on not even stamping the documents, right? Not you're not in the day-to-day operations of executing notarizations and running appointments. So it's important that you know this distinction between these four, because then now you can approach, you can advance forward with a clear view. So some of the biggest mistakes that I see that notaries do when they're using something like Thumbtack is they send reviews to the platform. A review is great in any way and shape or form you can get it, but when you're approaching this like a business owner versus as a loan signing agent or notary public, you're approaching it as a business owner. If that's in fact your goal, then sending reviews to the platform robs you of a very important component. As a business owner, when you put the reviews onto a platform like Google, where, as we all know, Google is the largest, most searched platform on the planet, you do two things. Number one, on Thumbtack, you can import the reviews into the Thumbtack platform from Google, so that works out really well. And then it does two things. You are available to be searched by everyone else in your city or anyone else that you're targeting who is looking for Notary Public. Speaking of automation, you got the robot going in the background. So when you send reviews to the platform, instead of sending them to the Google business profile, then you rob yourself of two things: of being found on Google, which is the largest platform, and also being able to import those reviews from Google onto your Thumbtack profile. Using the Thumbtack for Notaries book, I explain this in great detail in talking about ways in which you go about getting a review and getting it secured using the approach of sending the customers to the Google version versus sending it to the Thumbtack version. You want to build up the amount of reviews you have, and I know how important that is, but again, when your approach is like a business and versus a job, the important aspect to point out is it's not really the number of reviews that is the most impressive part. It's the 5 star. Sometimes people have 100 reviews, sometimes they have 1,000, or maybe they only have 10. But the very important component you have to understand is that having a 5 star review is going to be better than having 1,000,000 reviews. And I know the number looks impressive and it looks great, and there's no bad thing about it, but just getting the 5 star. And the reason why this is such a point that you want to hammer home is because a 1 star review, or anything less than 5 star review for that matter, anything less than a 5 star review could kill your business. For something as unique and individualized and highly, highly specific like a notary public, anything less than a 5 star review could kill your business. Okay, it's important that you focus on getting the 5 star review and not so much focus on building up the number. So sending your reviews to Google will give you a bit of a double dose there. And just to reemphasize the importance of the 5 star review, the experience that the customer has, it must compel them to write a 5 star review, right? That shouldn't be surprising. And when you're using Thumbtack in particular, the customer demographic that you're dealing with is not that of a person who uses Yelp or uses Google. These are a different level of customer, different demographic, mostly people who are used to automated processes and doing things digitally. So the notary who approaches the customer, especially if you didn't get the customer, which is often done in loan signing, which the title company is the one who provides the customer, and you ask them for the review. It may work to your favor. It could not in some cases. But when you're in a customer's home, and you're done executing their important documents, and you're on your way out, and then asking for the review directly in front of the customer in ways in which may be uncomfortable, it may be unexpected, and it may actually catch them off guard. So this is a practice that's done by several different notaries who could be to the trainings of loan signing, in which case it would make sense that you would approach your customer review request in this way because, again, you're not this person's choice. If you're doing a real estate related type of appointment and asking that customer for a review seems odd in the sense that they were not the ones who selected you particularly, right? You're usually assigned to these appointments by either a title company or some type of signing service. So this person may be compelled to write a 5-star review, and they might be compelled to even give you the review at if at all. I would consider you great in walking away from that situation. Very skilled way to do that. But always keep in mind that you did not get that particular customer. And when you're using a platform like Thumbtack, in which the customer did select you, or you were successful in attracting this customer and then securing an appointment, then there's a different level of review request in the sense that they were the ones who directly hired you. Truly, the only way to work direct, which is when the customer is the person who's hiring you. So my recommendation would be to ask for the reviews after the appointment is completed in 24 hours, 36 hours, or 48 hours, however you want to spread that out. But the best practice would be reach out to the customer once they've finished all of their business and then they've been satisfied. They'll be more compelled to write a more satisfactory review. There's a lot more of this information that relates specifically to Thumbtack inside of the book Thumbtack for Notaries, which is the book I highly recommend any notary who's looking to generate more leads or more higher quality leads. It's one thing to jump onto the platform and just thrown into how this platform works because it is a pay per lead platform. Now, that's not a bad thing, that's an excellent thing. And in the book, I outline why you want to pay for leads because these are appointments, these are clients that people are looking to get business done. They're not looking to kick tires. They're not looking to lowball you. These are people who are ready to do business. And that's why it's important that you read the book, you understand how to use the platform, how to optimize it so that you don't end up sitting in the lobby of Wells Fargo or Bank of America trying to get charged reverse because Thumbtack will charge you. It is a pay per lead service. They assume that's what you want. But I've heard so many stories about notaries who they heard someone tell them about Thumbtack and that person didn't tell them how to use it. See, I would never tell somebody to get on Thumbtack. I would tell them first how to use it. And here's an example of somebody who got the book and then just didn't really use it at all. But once they got on it, now they feel like they've found a gold mine. They purchased the book 2 months ago, and then they just decided to take action, and now it's so worth it. And here's another example of someone having great success on Thumbtack because they approached it with a business mind and they learned how to use the platform first. They understood that the persons who are looking on Thumbtack are people who are ready to stay in business. They paid $534 for one lead and it yielded $560, which is like incredible. That's got to be the best return in the history of returns. Over 10,000% return on that investment because they understood how to use the platform and they approach it like a business. So if you have questions about Thumbtack and you're interested in about learning how to use this powerful lead generation platform, then I am offering a special one-on-one type of review, which I'll go down your profile, have a look, and offer some recommendations. Go to thumbtackfornotaries.com to learn more.